Wow, guys, man, I'm starting this recording a bit early. It's not even early because it's like five something there. It's really late in the evening. But say to make this recording, still thinking of what to talk about. And there's only one thing that's really roaming through my mind because it's a reel that I watched just some minutes ago before I came. And also it's because where my headspace is right now at the moment. And in this reel, this guy says whenever things aren't going right in life, just get more social, never isolate. And that actually, related with me currently. It's related with me currently because right now I'm trying to find ways of discovering myself or finding myself, right? Um, but I stay home a lot. I stay home a lot. I'm trying to solve that problem, and it's still something that's lingering through my head. Yesterday I was supposed to put out a video, but I didn't put out a video because I was just there, like, man, I want to put out a video, but I've not yet figured out this whole thing that I have in my head of going out some more. It's still lingering through my head, and I've been picking up on different programs that are happening in Kampala as the month is coming to an end because like different venues are having different things that they're organizing, and people are looking up to this stuff, and people are going out. So I'm also like thinking, should I go for this one or should I not go for this one or should I go for that one? Like there's so much that I've been exposed to because on Instagram ads, once you like one thing or once you view one thing till the end, it picks up on that. It's like, oh, so we should show you more of this. So it starts pumping you with more of that. So that's what's been happening. So I have like so many different occasions that I've been exposed to, that have been advertised, starting from Monday. Today there's something, tomorrow there's something, Friday there's something, Saturday there's something. So I'm just there like trying to play it out in my head, like which one should I go for? Which one is going to give me the most exposure? Which one is going to let me meet someone or something, And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you must have heard me talk about the story of when I used to be in the house a lot, just busy reading books and just isolating myself. And then the difference came in 2022 when I decided to move out of the house. Like any occasion that I would hear over, I would just go out, I say putting myself out there. And then I met different people. Actually, one of the people that really, that I can say really gave me some hope, really gave me a lot of hope when I was really starting this. When I met Raymond Kahuma, I met him and then we worked on some project because, he put me on some project of his, some dating thing of his, I worked on that. Just getting to know Raymond allowed me to meet other people in this circle as well, and then the Kinganda team, I also met got to know some people in the Kinganda team like that. Like just putting myself out there allowed me to get into different spaces, get familiar in some of these spaces, and also get to meet some people that I wouldn't have met if I wasn't going out, right? And so now I'm trying to look for that again. I'm trying to have that again. But also, I think at the time it was easier for me to say, I need to go out because I made, and I'd been watching Raymond's videos, or most of his videos that he was posting. So when I went out and I saw him, I didn't even hesitate one minute. Like I saw him, just went and approached him. I don't even remember what I said. I just introduced myself, I think. I told him I liked his videos or something like that. I showed him my channel. I just don't remember. I just don't remember how it played out well, but all I know is I just got this jolt of confidence and I just approached him, talked to him, and from there things just of course it didn't just go straight away, but it picked up with time because now he had seen this is a familiar face, and when he put out an ad looking for someone to to come and shoot a video because he was looking for like a videographer and all. Then I hit him up and then, he's like, oh, I saw this guy somewhere. Then we connected like that. You get. So now even when I'm on social media, right? When I'm watching YouTube videos, as you heard me in the previous video, I'd say watching some of these podcasts that are starting to come out in Uganda nowadays. So many people are now starting to shoot podcasts in Uganda. So I'm watching these different podcasts, trying to see who can I align with, who can I decide to go and I meet with, or who can I cross their path? Like, yeah, who can I cross their path? Is that really something? I'm like, how can I cross some of these people's path, right? Like, let's say, this guy, the romantic Muchiga guy, he's putting out videos where he's talking about this Hongmari stuff. And, I feel like if I appeared on his channel, maybe I could speak on our perspective, but now how do I cross his path is the question, lingering in my head. Maybe I go for some occasion that I don't usually go for, some jazz occasion at Serena or something like that. Maybe he's good there, like just something. So I'm just, looking for different ways of how I can actually get to socialize some more, so that I can find myself, because I feel like I feel like I'm all over the place, man. Like, there's where something is new to you, and then you pick up on it, and you're now experiencing a new self, and then after a while it becomes familiar to you, and now you want to rediscover yourself and attach yourself to something else, right? So now for a while I've been working on the internet, freelancing. Yes, it has been working out for me. I've been making some money, but that alone isn't enough. That alone isn't enough. Like, now I feel like my life it's feeling a bit stagnant. Like, I need it to expand. I need something else to come of it, So I'm looking for different ways. So what's playing out in my head is, perhaps I go out, meet with someone, maybe someone who could collaborate with something, or someone who could put me onto something. Like, just something is just playing out in my head, But now I need to approach it from an angle, and to approach it from an angle, I need to observe the internet, like what is happening, what occasion is there, where can I be, because you need to be at the right place at the right time, and be at the right place at the right time. This is how you create luck for yourself. People who you see just, like, someone has blown up out of the blue. I was watching Kampala Cream yesterday, and I got to hear Tanya's story, man. Her story is a bit, her story is a bit raucous, but it's a familiar story to so many women out there who come from, say, the village, or who are out in Kampala and they're busy struggling to make it in life, and things don't really go well for them, and they become desperate, and then they're transported out of the country, because her story involves, like, getting transported out of the country to Thailand. I think it was to Thailand, and now she's there in Thailand. She finds herself working as a sex worker, trying to survive, trying to get some money, and trying to pay off this person who paid for her flight to go. Like, it was a whole story. It was a whole story when she was explaining herself. But it's a very, very familiar story to so many women out there. So many women are being, they fall victim to these kinds of schemes, and they're flown out. They're told that you're going to go and you work at a hotel, you're going to work at this, and then they get the ticket, they fly out, you reach there, your passport is confiscated, what is confiscated, so now you're stranded. Now you have no choice but to just get involved in this work so that you can survive, and so her story involved that. Her story was like that. But the difference for her is, when she came back to Kampala, she didn't just die in agony and frustration and torment or something like that, because, man, you are in a foreign country, you are arrested, you are doing prostitution, like you are not yourself, you are not yourself. And now when you come back to the country, instead of her being quiet, being quiet and just accepting that life got to her, and now she's defeated by life. She didn't accept that. She came back and just put herself out there, man. Found ways to get into different circles of hosting and all of that, and before you know it, she's on NRG. Before you know it, she's on TV. Before you know it, she's where. Before you know it, Joshua Baraka is proposing. But like, okay, I don't know if he has proposed there. I'm just yapping out of the blue here, but they're dating, right? So before you know it, like, she's a well-known person in Kampala. Like, it's just like she had to put herself in the right place at the right time, in order to create for herself that luck that eventually got her to, become a superstar or something in Uganda. I don't know if she's exactly a superstar. How did I get to know her? Honestly, the first time I ever had a Tanya was through my sister, because my sister used to. I don't want to. Let's just say my sister would go out and she would see Tanya perform or something like that. So I had heard from her before, but that was like way before. That was like back probably 2024, I think, or 2023. I'm not sure. That was the first time I ever heard of her, and then slowly by slowly you start to watch TV. I mean, you start to scroll through social media, you pick up on her. This video isn't really supposed to be about Tanya, right? But I'm just trying to give you an example of how you could possibly put yourself out there, or how you could create for yourself luck. Because if she just came back from Thailand and just isolated herself and was defeated by life, she wouldn't have gotten where she is. But because she didn't, just stay in one place, she came back and said, okay, I failed to make it outside of Uganda, let's make it in Uganda. And boom, something came of it. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there. So right now I'm in that period where, okay, we have figured out the internet, we have made some money on the internet, but that isn't really getting us somewhere that we really want. Let us figure out something new. Let us figure out something new that we could still be on the internet, but with a different approach. That's kind of what I'm saying. So I'm just trying to play out things in my mind, trying to play out scenarios. Maybe I start appearing on some of these podcasts and speaking. I'm sure I could really give some points. I was even thinking, telling myself, maybe if I can't meet these people outside, I could get their attention by reacting to some of their videos. So I was thinking maybe I could react to some of their videos. I probably would do that today or tomorrow. Like, I'm still trying to, conjure up the confidence, or just, be in that headspace where I feel hyped and like, yeah, and then I actually do it. So I'm just trying to, figure out something. If I can't make them out, I react to their videos. Maybe the videos pick up and they watch me reacting to their videos and possibly reach out. Like, something has to play out. You just keep on trying, man. You just keep on dipping your hands in different waters, and just something will come of it. Something will really come of it. So like, that's really where my head is at right now, man. Today is Wednesday, man. Today is Wednesday. Thursday is tomorrow. The weekend is coming. We're coming to the weekend, and I'm still trying to pick up on which occasion to go for, because I really want to go out for some of these occasions and just put myself out there and just talk to someone, man. Like, just tell me something, man. Tell me about Roblox, or tell me about JBL speakers, man. Tell me something. Open my mind up. Educate me on something. I just need something new. I just need a different perspective on life at the moment. That's what I'm looking for. So it's baby steps, but I'm going to get there. I feel like I'm going to get there. Because once I start obsessing about something, I just can't stop until I actually pull it off. But also, when as I've just mentioned, baby step. Baby steps for me now. I'm starting to look at if I can't exactly go for these, okay, there are two options, right? You go for these events, like these major events that are set up where you have to pay like 50K or something for entrance. Maybe you could cross paths with some of these people, or you go to some of these venues where they'll be having, like, some venues have quiz night, karaoke, band. I could just appear in some of those spaces, but instead of me going to my regular place that I usually go to, I go to different other places where that are like in town, areas, because people are always looking for leisure activities to do. So I could, instead of me going to this one place of mine, I could go to a different place. Now there's karaoke tomorrow at some place in Bugalobi. I know exactly where the venue is. I'm still playing it out in my head. Perhaps I could go there. The host is Denzel. If you know Denzel, the guy who hosts at, I think, some radio station. He hosts at some radio station, but he is also hosting this karaoke. So I'm like, okay, if this guy is going to be there, imagine the company of people that he's probably inviting to this event. What are the possibilities? Things are just playing in my head, right? Things are just playing in my head. So, at the end of the day, like if you find yourself lost, don't isolate yourself. Put yourself out there. Socialize some more. Usually that is usually the key. That is usually the key. Like I'm here every day that I wake up. My mornings feel very, very familiar. I wake up in the morning, it feels very, very familiar because a new day doesn't feel different because I'm just there thinking, how can I socialize some more? How can I be out and be around people some more? It's just constant in my head until when I actually pull it off. Like I just need to pull it off once, then I pull it off twice, then I pull it off thrice, then it becomes a thing. Then until something comes of it, I just don't think I'm going to stop. Like I just wake up every morning and I'm just, sometimes I even be there and I'm like, okay, if you're not ready to go out, okay, I'm just waiting. Actually, I'm waiting for this month to end because now I'm aiming at my next paycheck to actually use that money to put myself out there somewhere because most of these things are not for free. They don't just come for free. Like you have to, you have to touch your pockets for a bit. What have I just said? You have to dip your hands into your money and spend some money to be in some places, right? And if I'm going out, I remember I said nowadays I like to go out driving, right? So I need to have my money for fuel. I need to have money for drinks or something to eat, like spend some money to actually meet people, right? So I feel if I don't kick this plan off before the month ends, because now that the month is coming to an end, there's so many functions that are coming up. I've just been seeing like social media has been exposing me to so many of them. So if I don't pull it off right now, as immediately next month reaches like this, I'm just going to, go out here, go out there, like just try out different things, go out in different spaces. And just say, no, you can go out and still not socialize, right? You can still go out and still just be to yourself. But if I'm going out, like I like to be strategic when I'm going out. I like to go for specific events. If I'm going for a karaoke event, trust me, man, I'm going to ace that karaoke to the dot. Like I do karaoke a lot, so I'm going to make sure I sing and I'm noticed. Right? Something has to come of it. Or if I'm going for quiz, I like to think of myself as a bit smart. I've been to a quiz before. Actually, I've been to like 2 quizzes before. And some of the questions that they're asking are of things that are not common to most people, but it's also knowledge that is out there. I can't forget one time we're at a quiz and on our table they were asking a lot about the ancient history of the history of America or something like that, right? And some of the people that actually the founders of America, like questions were centered around there, and most people didn't know about that, right? So they put up some building, Carnegie Hall. I looked at the thing like this. I knew this building very well, and I knew Andrew Carnegie. I knew Andrew Carnegie very well. For this guy was building like buildings in America and all of that. I knew most of his story. So it just looked like this, and I just our group wins the whatever, wins the prize, and all because like I expose myself to so much information. So like I'm just saying, just be a bit strategic, go for certain events, go for certain stuff, and just find ways of standing out, which is very, very important. Like there's one thing of you going out, yeah. You go out, yes, you're out actively, you're out, you're in people. Like I go out for karaoke every single time. These people are always there at karaoke, every single karaoke. But it's only us who usually go there every time that actually notice, okay, this person usually comes. But like other people, like if you come into the space for your first time, you won't really know so and so, because so and so just goes out, yes, but they're usually isolated, they're usually quiet in their different corners and circles, right? But if you go out and you try to put yourself out, that's actually where you get a win. Like you go out and just make yourself big, make yourself notice. Get yourself noticed, right? It's something I've just remembered. This one thing that's playing in my head right now. After I went for one of the Pan-African dating show events, I think it was on Valentine's last year, right? So I go for this event. I go on stage. I remember they asked what question. I was answering the questions. I probably didn't even answer the questions properly because I was so frustrated and I was so anxious, because like she asked the question, she first asked the question, waiting for someone to put up their hand. People are just, everyone is being shy, everyone is hiding, no one wants. And I just walked to the stage and I, just answered the question. And then, later on the play, I don't know what song was it, they're just trying to find an interlude to the next section of the event. There I am on stage busy singing, busy having a small karaoke. Before you know it, even when the video comes out, the video came out and they put out a video and you could see me on stage dancing with a host. And I remember a friend is like, man, I saw you on this event. What happened? You didn't even invite me to the event. And I was just there. And I was like, man, so like I went for the event. I had no plans that I was actually going to be on stage and all of that. But I went for the event. I saw the opportunity. I'm like, man, let's go and make a fool of ourselves. Let's go and make a fool of ourselves. I just walked up to the stage and I just stand up like, who gives a shit, bro? Who gives a shit? If I make a fool of myself, people are going to, that's actually going to be something that is going to get me to stand out from whatever has gone on in the event. People are going to remember this guy came on stage, started singing and froze on stage. They'll laugh about it, but at the end of the day, I will be at the back of your mind. So if you ever see me anywhere, or if you ever spot me somewhere when I've improved, because usually when you're starting out stuff, when you're just starting up on stuff, usually you're so cringe, because you don't have experience in that field. And later on, when you're a pro, and you look back at your old self, you look like this, like your old self, you're cringe and you're freezing on stage. But later on, you're so confident and you're just speaking. When I first started these videos, when I first started making these videos, bro, I would turn on the camera and I'm just there like. Sometimes I just repeat words and sometimes nowadays it does happen, but it's not as consistent as it used to, because nowadays I'm just like, who gives a shit, man? I just come make my recording. Like, man, I remember I used to care a lot about like, okay, I shouldn't share this. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, man, people are just trying to relate with you, man. Something that you're holding yourself back on is probably something that someone else is going to relate with. Like, so. I haven't put myself on stage a lot more after that event, but I'm sure if I kept on going for many of these other functions, I'll put myself on stage. It was even another function at Legends, NRG was advertising some Joshua Baraka's event or something like that. And so, they asked guys to come and mime to some of the songs, But me, I was miming the song of Bayani, the guy who sang ta ta. How have I did that Tata song? That Tata song. So that's the video of me, just, standing up, going over, miming to the song, and really just putting myself out there. It actually got me to win a free ticket to Joshua Baraka's event. Though I didn't go for the event, I honestly, sometimes I sit down here and I'm like, why didn't I go? But I had some other occasion I was going for, some other function I was going for, so I didn't go for the event. But yeah, I won myself a free ticket. Also, because I actually like presented, I have a feeling I got noticed by some of the NRG people, right? It's just that after that event, I didn't really put myself out there. But, anytime I go out, I try to put myself in those uncomfortable situations just because I know the value of putting yourself out there. That's how you create luck, man. That's how you create luck. So at the end of the day, you have to create luck for yourself, right? At the end of the day, you have to create luck for yourself. And it's through socializing, put yourself out there. So yeah, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. I usually say this and no one ever comments. The videos just go plain. But have a conversation with yourself. If you're not going to comment, have a conversation with yourself. What is according to what I've just said, review your life. If you're stuck somewhere, this is probably the key, man. The key is probably to put yourself out there. So catch you in the next video.